Welcome, everyone, to Tea Time. It is the Wyndham Championship. I am your host, Andy Lang, being joined, as always, by my fellow golf betting expert, Nick Borrman. We're going to break down the course. We're going to give you some outright winners, some underdogs, some players that can trip you up, and, of course, some DraftKings darlings. Welcome, Nick. The playoffs is right around the corner, where the points now mean nothing except if you're on the bubble. As always, we start with our one and done. You are pulling out to a big lead. I've had a slew of golfers that missed the cut or play terrible. So let's get back on track. I'm going to go with Jake Knapp as my one and done. He's just been playing really, really well recently. So I'm going to depend on current form here. You look at his recent finishes, and he got third last week. Took the week off more than 22nd, 21st, 4th. So it's a guy that's just playing really, really well. You look at his player stats for the year; they're okay. But boy, you look over the last 5 to 6 weeks, he's playing really, really good golf. So I'm going to use Jake Knapp as my one and done. Who are you going with?
Harry Hall. For the record, I do love Jake Knapp as well. Another good week last week for him. But Harry Hall is what I'm looking at, Andy. I mean, just been riding the Hall train, honestly, for the last month, it feels like. He just continues to play very well. He delivers. His worst start over that stretch was actually his last start. It was a tie for 28th. That was his worst. So prior to that, 7 straight top 25s. He's not really anything special off the tee or on approach, but putting, short game, ridiculous. He actually ranks first, Andy, in putting in this field in each of the last 12 months, 6 months, and 3 months. So putting is no fluke with Harry, and he's number one on tour. Head of Scotty, head of everybody else in birdie average per round, 4.51. And another shootout, you're going to have to make a lot of birdies. So I think Harry Hall is going to have another good week. I think he'll be easily in that top 20 area. So I hope to get a little higher, obviously, for the one and done, and maybe top 10, top 5, whatever. But I think he's going to have another good week. So I'm on Harry Hall this week.
9 straight top 40 cashes, and I'll just casually throw out that he's minus 140 again, just to finish top 40 in a week field.
That's beautiful.
You know, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. And the putting. Now, listen, it's a good thing he's good at putting, because I don't think there's anybody that takes longer to line up a putt than him. But you can't argue with the results. It's absolutely been working.
Colin Morikawa, take note.
Yeah. So, as always, we take a look at total strokes gained in this field. I'm sure Harry Hall is going to make an appearance on this one. So let's take a look at the chart. We look at the last 12 months, 6 months, and 3 months. Obviously, it's not going to be like a major where we have all these big-time names, but there are a few big names playing this week. You got Keegan Bradley. You've got Matthew Fitzpatrick, who has to be in the notables. He's on fire. Yep. So there's a couple of big names. Robert MacIntyre's on there. Interesting takeaways from this chart. Walk us through it this week.
Yeah, definitely much better names than we saw last week. The big takeaways is you got a guy like Hideki Matsuyama, who leads over the last 12 months. So remember, he won was the very first event of the year, the Century, and then won something. Maybe it was in the fall prior to that. There was 2 wins in this 12-month stretch for him. So, that's inflated. We know he's not playing nearly as well. Then you got, of course, the captain, Keegan, who coming off a win recently, playing towards that Ryder Cup. I'm surprised he's actually playing this week, knowing that you got 3 playoff weeks. I didn't expect to see him here, but he's in the field. Ben Griffin's in an interesting one. I mean, who was hotter than Ben Griffin for 6 weeks, right? But not a great stretch over in Europe. And did the Allure, did the Sweetheart package run expired on him? I'm not really sure. So he looks great in the short term, 3 months. You can see that, but in a shorter window, which is not here, in a month or 6 weeks, it's dropped off quite a bit. So I'm not really sure if he's, ready to just bounce right back. But Harry Hall, as you mentioned, right there, number 5, playing his best golf as of late. You can see that in the strokes gained last 3 months graphic. A couple of the names on there worth talking about. Jordan Spieth making an appearance there. Again, playing very steadily. He missed several weeks with injury, came back for the Open, was respectable there, 40th, I think. But steady as it goes, even though he's one of the most fun golfers to watch. Aaron Rai, defending champ, on the list, but really, have we talked about him much recently? I feel like leading into last year, and when he won this, we were talking about him quite a bit every week, but he kind of hasn't had that same play as of late. But then you mentioned the guys who are the hottest right now. Fitzpatrick, he's just off the top 10, so he's on the notable section, but he is number one here over the last 3 months. And then Jake Knapp and Nikolai Højgaard, I have that transposed with his name, but Nikolai Højgaard, 2 other guys playing very, very well. And right now, I just, in these type of events, you tend to see, on the bigger events, what I've noticed is the 12-month plays out a little bit better. Those rankings, it's your best players in the world, and they're better for longer periods of time. But in these lighter fields, I've been having more success with some of the 3-month surges from some of these guys. They're playing very well in the moment. They have a weaker field they're going up against, and they're just playing better than everybody in that field, and they tend to do pretty well. So just throwing it out there that I would pay a little bit more attention to the shorter term going into this week, and that is that right-hand column. That's my takeaway going into the last regular season event here of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so funny to hear you say the word steady and Jordan Spieth in the same
Oh no,
sentence.
I had a stroke there. That wasn't supposed to happen in the same place.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. So, yeah, interesting chart this week. So these events, sometimes we have some really big long shots. So it'll be interesting to see if we have another long shot or if some of these guys on that chart come out ahead. So if you guys could hit the like button and leave us a comment, tell us who you like this week. If you like somebody off that chart, somebody not off the chart. But real quick, Nick, we got to talk a little bit of soccer. Soccer season is starting, this week, and I know you have a special up for Leagues Cup. Tell us about that real quick before we get into the course breakdown.
Yeah, Leagues Cup literally just kicked off last night, so Tuesday night. So it is the World Cup style format tournament, MLS versus Liga MX. All the teams from Liga MX play, and most of the teams from MLS. But very fun event. It goes on for a month. It actually runs through August 31st. So I have a package up for $99. It'll get you every play of that tournament. MLS is, of course, my bread and butter, so that includes all these MLS teams. On the second half of the package, the group stage is the first kind of 2 weeks. And then once the knockout rounds happen, the MLS starts back up again. So then it'll be regular MLS plays on top of the Leagues Cup. Plus, Andy, Premier League kicks off mid-August, and this package is include that as well. So all soccer, including Leagues Cup, MLS, and the beginning of the Premier League season, all going to be included in this for the next 32-ish days. So August 31st is the last day of the package, but $99 available right now on my page at Longshot.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, soccer, really, really good source of profits. Let's break down the course. We're going to Sedgefield Country Club, and there's really not much to this course. It's going to be the second easiest par 70 that they play. At least that's what history tells us. 7,100 yards. Just be accurate off the tee, and you're going to leave yourself plenty of birdie opportunities. Only a couple of par 5s, obviously. That's why it's the par 70. But to me, this just kind of comes down to really good putting. I don't think guys are going to have trouble with these greens. The greens are pretty good size. Not a lot of hazards here. It is notable the front 9 typically plays a lot easier than the back 9, so guys need to get off to good starts here. And I'll bring up the weather. As of now, Thursday and Friday, cakewalk weekend, there's going to be 20, 25 mile an hour winds. So you're going to see some low scores Thursday and Friday. On the weekend, maybe not so much. Maybe that brings a little bit of drama into this course. I'll do the 18th hole rating real quick, Nick, and then I'll get your thoughts on this. 18th hole rating. It's a 4.1. There's really nothing to this. The members that it plays as a par 5, these guys are going to play it as a 500-yard par 4. The only thing that can be a little tricky is you hit your tee shot in the fairway, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a downhill lie. There's 4 bunkers surrounding the green, but the green is pretty big, should be really receptive. The only thing that's going to make this difficult is the winds on Saturday and Sunday. It's basically your typical par type of hole. So in order to birdie it, you're probably going to have to hit a decent size putt. Bogeys is just going to be spray the ball off the tee or you flub it out of the bunker. But really not much to this one. Doesn't have a lot of teeth, not very dramatic. So 4.1 for the rating on this one. What's your take on Sedgefield?
It's kind of rinse and repeat of what we saw last week, aside from the weather. It's the winning scores basically fall between 18 and 22 under. In the last 8 years, there was one anomaly where it was only 15 under, but aside from that, you're getting up close to 20 under pretty much every year. Again, very similar to last week. We'll probably see some 62, 63s. What did Kitayama do? He shot 60 last week. I don't know if we'll get there, but it'll be pretty close. We always talk about the field too in these type of events. 156 in the field. This is just the movement group, right? The group that needs to kind of get in, or maybe even the guys that are on the bubble of like the top 50 or top 30 to qualify for that second and third event. But every golfer, Andy, that's ranked 60th to 109 in the FedEx Cup standings is in this field. Clearly showing
interesting.
Yeah, who's trying to make it, right? And that's always an angle you can look at as guys that are on that bubble and looking for make the cut parlays on those type of guys, because trust me, they are going to be grinding over every shot like it's Masters Sunday. So it doesn't always pan out, of course, so you got to be careful with it, but it is an angle certainly to pay attention to this week, more so than just looking at the outright winner or a top 10 market is who needs to make points and who needs to make a cut. Aside from that, I did this last week that, who wins this type of event? It's obviously going to be a hot putter because you're going to have to go low. But once again, the best ball striker has proven to be the solid recipe in the tournament's history. So last year, Aaron Rai, winner, he ranked first for the week, strokes gained tee to green. 2023, Lucas Glover, first tee to green. 22, Tom Kim, first putting. All right, then you got Kisner, Herman. They were both in the top 10, both tee to green and putting. 19, Poston, first tee to green. Brant Seneker, second tee to green. I think you get the point. You got to get that guy's, if you're looking for the winners, the guy that's going to be the best tee to green. And again, I think what has shown more recently this year is it tends to be the player in the best form. And if you go back to just those last 2 years, Aaron Rai, he was hot coming into this tournament. And Lucas Glover, same thing. His win was coming, and then he won the very first playoff event the week after. So neither of those guys were surprises, and they both showed in that short-term 3-month window strokes gain data. So I would look there. I would look for guys that are just striking it better than anybody else in this field. I mean, maybe they don't win because they don't make enough putts, but I guarantee they're going to be in that mix, in that top 10, top 20. So that's kind of where I'm focusing my energy on, trying to figure out who's going to win this event or at least place well.
Well, you mentioned ball striking, so let's go to your favorite, and then I'll do players that can trip you up. Nice little yin and the yang. So let's go to your favorite. What's a guy that you think's priced pretty high up there, has the best shot to win?
I'm going to rinse and repeat. It's Jake Knapp again. It's Jake Knapp again for me. You mentioned him earlier in the one and done. I previewed him as a favorite last week. Dan, producer, if you could just go ahead and just clip in last week's breakdown for me right here. I can just go to sleep for a second. But honestly, it's everything I said last week. I was basically obviously finished tied for third last week. Had a very good chance to win. He probably does, if not for Kitayama having a career round on Saturday. But before that, tied for 22nd at Scottish, tied for 21st at John Deere, tied for fourth at the Rocket Classic. He hits at a country mile. That always helps. His putter can get very hot. It's just these type of events set up very well with him. In 21 starts this season, he's lost strokes putting just 5 times. He ranks 7th in this field in the strokes gained putting this season. I mentioned Harry Hall as my one and done, who ranks first. So Knapp is not far behind. And he's going to have a lot of, again, you're 7,100 yards. If he's hitting driver, he's going to have a lot of short clubs into these greens. So he's going to have a pretty good advantage. So I like Knapp again. He's 40-1 once again this week. Top 10 plus 450 or top 20 plus 230. Both of those were easy cashes, and I like him again this week as well.
All right. Well, good start for me. When your favorite is my one and done. Sitting pretty. Let's go to players that can trip you up. These are some guys that I think are priced a little bit too high, and I think they're overvalued. I think people are going to play them. I'm going to start with someone you mentioned, Aaron Rai. I think he's getting priced up on last year's win. His recent play has not been that good. He has one top 10 all season. He hasn't cracked the top crazy. 15. Yeah. He was coming down the stretch last year. He was money. Like he was a DFS darling. He was a top 40 machine. Like you could make all kinds of money on him. Not the case. Hasn't cracked the top 15 since mid-March. 21st in total strokes gained in this field over the last 3 months. That's not good. Putting, glaring weakness. And on a course that you and I agree that you got to have a hot putter. Maybe it comes around this week because he's familiar and, basking in the glow of last year's win. But major red flag when you haven't been putting well this year. So at this price, I just think he's overvalued. Easy pass for Aaron Rai. You mentioned him again, Ben Griffin. Golf is a fickle sport, Nick. You can be the hottest golfer on tour, and then you can miss 2 cuts in a row. Wheels have completely come off. Missed the cut his last 2 starts. last 30 days is putting minus 0.3 run total strokes gained. Yeah, despite the recent slump, he's priced as like a top 4 guy. Way too aggressive on a guy that's missed 2 cuts in a row. So there's a lot of top tier options with better trends that I would rather bet on. So at this number, Griffin is a fade. So, I mean, remember, Nick, he was like as hot as Rory and Scotty there for like a month. It was like it was like, who's the hottest golfer on the planet? Scotty Scheffler, and then who? Ben Griffin. So he's just not going to be in any of my lineups. So, and then I have to mention Akshay Bhatia. He comes in with pretty decent form, 4 straight made cuts, but yet to crack the top 20 in that stretch. And I got to bring up how awful he has been at this tournament. 4 times he's played here and he's never made the cut, which is insane considering how this isn't the U.S. Open type field or course. This is an easy course in a weak field. Have no idea why he struggles so bad here. But despite the talent, course history, just bad form, I'm not going to be betting on Akshay Bhatia here. So Aaron Rai, Ben Griffin, and Akshay Bhatia are 3 players that I think can trip you up. I have one best bet that is posted for this week's tournament, and I just absolutely love it. Only had 1 play last week. Unfortunately, we didn't get there. Nick, if you would have told me that Maverick McNeely missing the cut was going to derail me, what are you going to do? But we get back on track. I love the play this week. Any bets that we have throughout the tournament will be posted with that. So I've never had a losing golf season since being at Wager Talk. It's a streak I'm very, very proud of, and the play this week is dynamite. I love it. So if you're interested in a golf best bet winner, go grab that, wt.buzz/AL. All right, we mentioned some players that can trip you up. We mentioned your favorite. Now let's dig a little bit of deep here. Nick, let's talk an underdog that is kind of really, really well priced here. Who have you pegged as a little bit of a long shot?
Yeah, he's not 100-1 by any means, but a 60-1, a little bit longer than we said. We talked about with Jake Knapp is Højgaard. I mentioned him in the breakdown of strokes gained. He is just playing very, very well. Again, I'm looking at that short-term window. Who's hot right now? Who's got the momentum? You know, he skipped last week, which I do like, right? You get that extra week of West, but back-to-back strong starts across the pond. He had the tie for 4th finish at the Scottish, then a tie for 14th at the Open. Before that was a solid tie for 24th at the Rocket. He did struggle, admittedly, through the summer from basically March through early June. He took some time off after the PGA Championship. He played just 1 event over like a 5-week, 6-week stretch until that Rocket Classic. So clearly was working on stuff, away from tournament competitive golf, and it worked, whether it was his practice routine, changing something, or just pure break. He's come back roaring. He was struggling mightily with his irons. He lost strokes in 5 of 8 starts during that stretch. 2 of them are basically break even. So there was only 1 event during that run that he actually gained strokes with his approach play. But however, since that little rest in these most recent 3 starts, he's gained nearly 12 strokes total over those 3 starts on just his approach. So that's basically +1 a round, which may not sound like a lot, but honestly, over the course of a 12-month period, there's only 1 guy or maybe 2 guys that are over +1 with their approach. And of course, that's going to be Scotty. So it's a good number. And his putter has gotten pretty hot as well. His driver has always been good. He hits it a ton. He's only lost strokes once off the tee in his last 9 starts. So I'm going to assume his driver is going to continue. And if he continues that iron play, which we've seen, he's going to be in the mix. He's just too good compared to the rest of this field, just again because of that driver game. So I think he keeps his iron hot. I think he contends again. 60-1 to win. Top 10 is +600, and top 20 +280. All very good value. Or if you can find another way to get on Højgaard this week, I think he's going to have a good week. And for that, or what it's worth, his brother's doing pretty well too.
Yeah, absolutely. Runs in the family. Love that play on Højgaard there. So.
Don't make the wrong bet. Don't grab the wrong guy. Although it probably is not going to hurt you.
Truth. So once again, guys, please hit the like button if you're watching. Just a nice little token of appreciation. And we crossed 210,000 subscribers. We got some lofty goals to get to 230,000 subscribers by the end of football season. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell, you get notified when all these videos comes up. Really, really helps us out. And as always, leave a comment. Love seeing who you guys are betting on, so leave it down in the comment section. Let's go to DraftKings Darlings. These are some more underdogs you can look at, but DFS been going well this year. tripped up last week, had a bad week, had 3 guys miss the cut. You're never going to cash in that one. So try and get back on the winning track, and I'm going to go back to my guy. Kevin Roy has just been the DraftKings darling. Yeah, he's been the darling of the year. DFS gold mine. He's made the cut in 10 of his last 11 tournaments, and they're still putting him out at 7,000. So consistent weekend scoring. What I love over the last 3 months, he's gained strokes in every major category. So 4 top 30 finishes in his last 6 starts. So he does have a little bit of upside. He's safe. He's got upside, and he's only 7,000. So this is he's the ultimate DraftKings darling, Kevin Roy. Going with William Mao, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Up and down the season, but he's heating up. Breakthrough win at the ISCO. Follows it up with a 7th place finish at the 3M Open. So, Nick, I'm just going to ride the hot train on some of these guys that are lower priced. Last 30 days, 7th in the field in total strokes gained. Obviously, a win will help you with that. But sometimes these guys just need a little bit of confidence, and they can go on a really, really nice run. So at 7,100, really, really good upside if he continues that hot streak. And I'm going to go with Gary Woodland. We haven't mentioned his name much this year, but he's quietly rounding into form, offers really good value at this price. Made 4 straight cuts, 20th last week, and he's finished 27th and 28th here the last couple years. So I get a guy who's playing well to make the cut, and a guy that's made the cut the last 2 years here. So he knows how to navigate this course. Around the green has been his real weak spot. But, Nick, these greens are pretty easy to hit. I can't imagine there's going to be a ton of up and down chances. So I think maybe the weak part of his game across Thursday and Friday, especially with not much wind, I think that's going to eliminate the weakest part of his game. So putting and approach numbers have been really, really good. So sneaky strong DFS play in this price range. So you got Kevin Roy, William Mao, and Gary Woodland as your DraftKings darlings. My article is up on my page, wt.buzz/AL. It's got the rest of my DraftKings lineups as well as the course preview and all the write-ups for the players that can trip you up. Nick, there was a couple of head-to-head matchups I wanted to throw at you before. Jake Knapp is matched up against Hideki Matsuyama, and Jake Knapp is plus money.
Oh, yeah. Sign me up. Next.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It just feels like it just feels like that's really, really mispriced. Like Hideki is minus 140. I'm not really sure what upside he's offering up these days. There was another
purely
one.
Name value in a long run, it's got to be it. But yeah. Love that.
Yeah, I would think so. And then Jordan Spieth versus Akshay Bhatia, I thought was kind of interesting. I just want nothing to do with Bhatia. Whenever you take Jordan Spieth in a head-to-head, you're asking for trouble. But I really like Spieth in that one. I'm really down on Bhatia. He's never made the cut at this place.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And honestly, last week he kind of came out of nowhere to even have his name up because he hadn't been doing anything for I feel like a while. So I don't know what to make it last week really. So I do like Spieth too. Love
it. So yeah, there's a couple head-to-heads for you guys to take a look at. So all right, that's going to do it for us. Playoffs are right around the corner, guys. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you join us every single week. We're going to be breaking down all the playoffs all the way through the Tour Championship. Been a really, really fun year of golf. So appreciate you guys joining us. And good luck on all your bets this week. Make sure you come back next week. We'll get you ready for the playoffs. Have a great weekend and take care.